Without a doubt, the most exciting discovery from New Testament times has been the Dead Sea Scrolls, and perhaps the most noteworthy contribution of the scrolls has been their witness to the earliest known text of the Hebrew Scriptures.
Originally passed down orally, the scriptures would eventually be copied into written form. The scribes wrote column by column on sections of parchment which were rolled up and kept in the temple and synagogues. The manuscripts found in the Dead Sea Caves are comprised of mainly three languages: 80% Hebrew, 17% Aramaic, and 3% Greek. One of the more interesting discoveries at Qumran is the Book of Jubilees. Originally written in Hebrew around 150 BC, it was translated into Greek and later into Ethiopic. The Book of Jubilees is a retelling of the story of Genesis and the beginning of Exodus in the form of a revelation given by angels to Moses. The Book of Jubilees is still part of some Ethiopic church canons. Prior to the discovery at the Dead Sea, the oldest known complete Hebrew manuscript was the Ben Asher Codex, a Masoretic text based on the Aleppo and Leningrad Codex, dating back to around 1000 AD. Most of the scrolls found at Qumran were fragments or had been deteriorated badly, except for the Isaiah scroll, which was the only complete scroll found in the Dead Sea Caves. This scroll has been dated to be written around 200 BC. That's over 1200 years older than the Ben Asher Codex. The Aramaic language has survived in fragments from two books of the Hebrew Bible, Job and Leviticus. Also, the Aramaic texts found in the Genesis Apocryphon offer an exciting new source of this ancient language while also providing further details on the beginning of our existence.
All these writings shed new light on our understanding of who we are as children of God. These ancient manuscripts provide a link to the past, allowing us to walk through the history of our heritage.
The remnants of several almost complete copies of the Book of Enoch in Aramaic were found among the Dead Sea Scrolls, and it is clear that whoever collected and preserved these scrolls considered them to be important texts. The Book of Enoch, comprised of over 100 chapters, still survives in its entirety in the Ethiopic language. Likewise, Enoch is still part of the canon of Scripture in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Unlike any other scroll found at Qumran, the copper scroll was inscribed on two rolls of almost pure copper. It was written in Hebrew with roughly 20% in Aramaic. The writers used a tool to strike the letters into the copper itself. Using a cryptic form of language, the copper scroll describes several locations where over 100 tons of gold, silver, and other valuables were supposedly hidden. All of the Greek texts discovered among the Dead Sea Scrolls are written in Koine Greek, the common dialect of the New Testament era. Some of the Greek manuscripts found in the Qumran caves are copies of Exodus and the apocryphal letter of Jeremiah. One of the most intriguing discoveries about the Greek fragments involves the name of God, or what is commonly referred to as the Tetragrammaton. This is a theological term attributed to the four Hebrew letters Yod, He, Vav, He. In most English Bibles, these Hebrew letters are usually replaced with the phrase the Lord or Adonai. The Greek fragments of the 12 minor prophets show a special treatment for God's name in that it is the only part of the Greek text written in the language of the Hebrews. This may signify that the writers of these scrolls maintained a reverence for God's name and a holiness of the Hebrew language.
These early manuscripts from Qumran are especially important because they show that the text we have today is very similar and has changed very little for thousands of years. Of course, there are a few places where different words and expressions are used, and sometimes it is no longer possible to discover what exactly the Hebrew words meant, but we can be confident that the Bible as we have it today is primarily the same as its authors wrote many centuries ago.